Hello YouTube, this is a really exciting video. For those of you that have not figured it out yet, I am embracing going full heads-on the Disney Lorcana TCG content. And what better way to make my second video on this channel regarding the card game than talking about the cards that were just revealed. We now know 7 cards. 7 cards were announced to us thanks to D23. We're going to talk about all 7 cards in this video. We're going to talk about what is on the cards, what it could imply for future cards in the game, and what the numbers mean, and what the effects mean, and what we can kind of figure out by what's on the cards. This is going to be a very nice discussion on trying to figure out how the game is going to work. I'm just really excited to go over these new cards. I've only looked at them very briefly, and I just want to go right in and figure it out and enjoy this freaking game, because I've seen some of these cards and they're amazing. As usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell. That way you know when all these Disney Lorcana videos go up. In addition to that, do let me know in the comments, out of the 7 cards revealed, which card is your favorite and why. Let's get a discussion going and let's get right into it. Quick little shout out before we begin here. If you search Disney Lorcana in Facebook, you get quite a few results. However, I have made the Disney Lorcana TCG 2022 group, and I'm wanting this Facebook page to be hopefully the Facebook page for the card game where the community can come and do whatever they want with it. With the exception, of course, if Disney makes their own Facebook page for it and that blows up. But besides that, I want this to be the Facebook page. We already got 369 people, 370 people, and I only made it less than 24 hours ago of recording this. Let's try to get this page up to 1,000 members, and let's see what happens. And there's lots of posts here, lots of interactions, lots of cool things to see and things to figure out here. A lot of people really take this game seriously so far, which is a really strong sign, because we only know 7 cards. That's it. So let's go ahead and get started with the first card here. Mickey Mouse, promo 1 out of P1, which is cool. We see the D23 little expo here. Little promo thing first is nice. And what do we see on the card here? We see Mickey Mouse. We see Brave Little Tailor, whatever. Part of its name, I guess. This 8 up here in the top left corner seems to indicate a play cost or something of that nature. Could be wrong, but we'll find out. We have the attack, and we have the defense. So that's what that appears to be looking like anyway. He's a Dreamborn hero. We're going to come back to this thought in a little bit about what these words mean, Dreamborn and hero. So give it time, we'll come back to it. But look at this. This card has something called evasive. Only characters with evasive can challenge this character. This is super interesting. It basically speaks for itself. Only evasive characters can challenge Mickey Mouse. What does that mean? Well, we think we know, have a good idea what that means, and we're going to get to it as we discuss further cards into this. So yeah, first card, starting off strong. Even got flavor text down here. When defeat looms and victory hangs by a thread, a hero bolts to the rescue, patching things up through sheer determination. Isn't that wonderful? And also appears to be a red card, so that's kind of cool. I wonder if that'll mean anything. I guess we'll find out. And of course, credit to the artist, Nicholas Cole, and Disney Lorcana, Disney copyright, of course. Let's go on to the second card in the series here, being Stitch, a rock star, with a seemingly play cost of 6, an attack of 3, and a defense of 5. For going forward, we're going to assume that's what these symbols mean, and we're going to go from there. This is a Floodborn hero alien. We'll come back to this, don't worry. Shift 4. You may pay 4 times, I guess, 4 asterisks, whatever that means, to play this on top of one of your Stitch characters. And it has something here called Adoring Fans. If you go back to Mickey Mouse here for a second, it didn't have anything like a special little keyword thing like that. Adoring Fans is something Stitch has. And it says, whenever you play a character with 2 or less, cost 2 or less, you may exert to draw a card. I'm assuming that exert means tap or suspend, depending on what card game you're playing. I assume that's what that means. This also appears to be a yellow card, and a different artist did it. Simon Galicio Cibaya. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce it or not. Also, it's 2 out of P1. Yes, we are going in order from 1 to 7, don't worry. So yeah, another Stitch card, an interesting ability in Shift. you can seemingly stack your cards and get benefits from that. We'll find out what this means, I'm sure, with future iterations of cards like this, but nonetheless, something really cool. Next card here is Elsa the Snow Queen. Oh boy, do you guys want to build a snowman or what? Has a play cost of 3 with attack of 2, defense of 3. It has an ability called Freeze with a suspend or exert icon, it would seem. Exert chosen opposing character. So this just seems like it taps itself to tap something else, which is, we've seen cards like that in other card games. Not super surprised. Recreated by Magical Ink, Elsa found herself in an unfamiliar new world. Fortunately, ice works the same way everywhere. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't. It's also a purple card and has a little snowy icon here, I guess. Do the other cards have something like that? Oh, it does have a little icon here. Mickey Mouse has an icon there. And Stitch has a different icon. Very interesting. I wonder what those icons indicate. Probably some kind of typing, which we'll go into a little more. I wonder what these typings do indicate, though, for real. Could be really interesting. And we'll talk about this whole Dreamborn, Hero, Queen, Sorcerer thing in a bit. Don't worry, we'll get there. The next card in the series is Cruella de Vil, miserable as usual. She's evil. She's an evil character. I think she's our first evil character so far. The play cost of 2, attack of 1, defense of 3. A storyborn villain, not a hero. Interesting. With an ability, You'll Be Sorry. When this character is challenged and banished, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. So let's expand on the challenge mechanic a little bit. It seems like challenge is your way to fight characters, and this seems to be like, this seems to have like a defeated ability. Like if Cruella is defeated via challenge, you return something to hand, you bounce something to hand. So it punishes the opponent for defeating it, kind of. It could kind of put tempo into your favor by bouncing back something potentially really strong. I'm assuming something like that happens. Now, we don't know anything about mana or what the play costs mean or whatever. We don't know anything about that. We don't know how it works, and I'm not going to assume like we know how this works right now. But it's a storyborn villain. It's a green card, a different icon here. Let's just move along. Also, something you might have noticed, you got a little diamond here with Cruella. Mickey Mouse has 4 diamonds. Stitch has 3. And Elsa has 1. I wonder what the diamonds mean. Again, I'm not going to pretend to assume that we know. But, you know, we can speculate, right? We can speculate. Let's go to card number 5, Maleficent, Monstrous Dragon. I only know Maleficent from that Angelina Jolie movie, I think. I could be wrong. If I'm crazy, let me know in the comments. But a play cost of 9 is huge. It must be a freaking good card. Attack of 7, a shield of 5. Okay. It's a storyborn villain dragon. Oh, it's a red card, too. Is that the same icon as Mickey Mouse? Oh, it is. So maybe it's just an indicator of color. I don't know. All right, we'll see. Dragonfire ability. When you play this character, you may banish chosen opposing character. Huh. So just on play, kill something. That's, we've seen that in card games before. That's nothing new. The 9th rule of villainy. When all else fails, turn into a dragon. Respect. Respect. That's all I got for this card. Let's go to number 6, Robin Hood. Back to a storyborn hero. 6 play cost, 4 and 4, an unrivaled archer. A blue card. Different. So 2 just special abilities, it looks like. Feed the poor. When you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in their hand than you, draw a card. This is super interesting. This isn't like a continuous ability per se. It's not something like, I don't know, a continuous effect, like how Mystic Mind and Yu-Gi-Oh! Says you can't do anything. This is like an effect that keeps checking for a trigger. Those exist in card games. If something happens, do this. We have a lot of cards like that in card games. This is just another one of those condition-based cards. So if you play a character and the opponent has more cards in their hand, draw a card. That's also, keyword, if an opponent. It appears that this game is supporting multiplayer battles, which is really freaking cool. That's what I got out of this card. Multiplayer seems to be supported in this game, unless it's a typo, which I doubt. I think that that's really cool. There'll be 1v1 and multiplayer. That's great. Disney's already one step ahead, introducing multiplayer formats right from the get-go. They're taking this super seriously. And now, good shot during your turn. This character has evasive. This can challenge characters evasive. Oh, interesting. Interesting, huh? Also, we never rob. We just sort of borrow a bit from those who can afford it. Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. One more card I want to talk about before we start going deep into some commentary about these cards. Captain Hook. A Dreamborn Villain Pirate Captain. That's a lot of words. A 1 cost to play seems really cheap, with a 1 attack and 2 defense, a Forceful Duelist, a gray card, and it has an ability called Challenger. When challenging, this character gets +2 attack, it looks like. Nice. He also loves to make light of a foe's predicament, which is kind of a bully move, but he's a villain. What else can you expect? Alright, so let's go into some of the mechanics that we know and things that we can speculate here. And I want to give some quick shout-outs. There's a couple people that have kind of put some data together on what they think is going on. So shout out to Russell and the other boys. You know who you are. I appreciate your help. So evasive. Let's talk about this. Only characters can challenge this character. Only evasive characters can challenge this character. Let's go to Robin Hood for a second, who says, during your turn, this has evasive, which means that during your turn, you can challenge or fight Mickey Mouse. But if it's the opponent's turn, Mickey Mouse cannot challenge Robin Hood, which is kind of cool, conditional based. But what I assume this challenge thing means is you compare your attack to the defense points, and I guess if you have a higher stat total, you probably just win the challenge. I would have to assume that's what that means. And based on the wording from Cruella, if a character is challenged and they lose, I guess they get banished. Which would make sense, because Cruella is a little weaker compared to something like Mickey Mouse. So that is something that's very important to note. It does introduce mechanics like being banished, returning the hand, and other things as well. Captain Hook seems like a really cheap aggro card. Like, actually, like, think of Rookie Rush and Digimon, or maybe like Red Deck wins decks and Magic or something, where you have just cheap aggro dudes. Well, this dude, when he challenges someone, gets +2. He effectively becomes a 3/2, which is really strong if you want my opinion. That's a really strong rookie, if you want to call it that. So it's introducing that cards will be, they'll be like cheap decks, and there'll be expensive decks. Like, look at freaking Maleficent, the dragon. 9 to play. You're going to need some kind of investment to play this card. And the payoff, it seems to really pay off. You can just banish. It seems like banish is the term they're using for when something is dead or defeated or whatever. We don't know technically the logistics behind it, but it seems like banishing is equal to defeat. So that is really, really interesting. And what else do we know? We know there's multiple colors. We know we have Exert, an ability that has to do with tapping. And tapping other things, which is what Elsa can do, so that's cool. So this seems like kind of like a cheap control thing. Purple maybe might be a control deck in this game. Who knows? We have a shift ability, which maybe could be exclusive to Stitch, but probably not. I'm sure we'll see other Stitch cards, like one of your Stitch characters. This seems to indicate that you can either play like 5 copies of Stitch in your deck, or we're getting more Stitch cards, which is what I want to believe happens. And I think a lot of fans hopes for that as well. And yeah, what do we know about the game so far? That's basically it. We don't know how you win, how you lose. Yeah. Well, some other notes that we seem to have here, based on what I can see here. I'm just going to read them verbatim here. Points when defeated. First to a certain amount wins. So maybe you get points for like beating other heroes or villains, and then you get the most points you win. That's kind of okay. Apparently, there's discard for mana generation. Generates a printed amount, which would be super interesting. So like, if you discard a 6-cost card, you can play Stitch, I guess. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just going by what is here in the notes. Either way, if it's true, that's great. And if it's not, speculation's really cool. Potential deck restriction. Only able to run certain numbers of cards, obviously. Tap to generate that much mana, maybe. That could have to do with the diamonds here. You never know. Maybe these diamonds are what maybe these help your play cost. Maybe this means it contributes 3 to a play cost of 6 for another card. I don't know. And yeah, what else can we speculate about these cards? Honestly, I think we're off to a really good start, and hopefully Disney gives us more information tomorrow, or today, I guess, when you watch this. Maybe we'll have some more rules, or how to win, or deck requirements, or anything else. But it seems like these might be exclusive promo cards, my goodness. And that just seems really, really cool. Like, I'll definitely be looking for these cards, and they'll probably be expensive, but what can you do? Anyway, guys, what do you think about this video going over the 7 cards here? I think that this is a step in the right direction. These 7 cards will indicate that it's not just OG Disney characters. You have Mickey Mouse, and you have freaking Elsa. She's a new one. And while right now it seems tied to Disney original IPs, that doesn't mean we won't get other Disney IPs, and I think they're playing with cards of different generations. I think the sky's the limit with this game, and I am really excited. This has the making to be a super competitive and intriguing and skill-based card game, and I want to see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and we're out of here. Bye.